Welcome back to Reader Tales. Today, we've got a classic from Reddit, TIFU by trying to jump over a puddle in dress shoes and slipping directly into it. If you've ever had one of those days where everything goes wrong, you're going to want to stick around for this one. But before we dive in, do us a solid and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more hilarious mishaps. Hey Reddit. So, this happened yesterday, and I'm still trying to scrub the shame and general grime off my soul. You know those days when you wake up feeling like you've got it all together? Like the universe is finally aligning for you? Yeah, yesterday was supposed to be one of those days for me. Emphasis on supposed to be. It all started innocently enough. I had a really important interview. Not just any interview, mind you, but the interview. The one that could potentially launch my career into the stratosphere, or at least out of my parents' basement. I'd spent weeks preparing, researching, practicing answers, even laying out my outfit the night before like a kid before the first day of school. The outfit, by the way, was on point. A crisp, dark blue suit, a perfectly ironed white shirt, a silk tie that cost more than I cared to admit, and, the pièce de résistance, a brand new pair of highly polished, incredibly sleek leather dress shoes. These weren't just any shoes. These were, business shoes, the kind that practically hummed with ambition. I'd even broken them in a little around the house just to make sure they wouldn't give me blisters. Oh, the irony. The weather, however, was not cooperating with my grand career ascension. It had been raining intermittently all morning, the kind of annoying stop-start drizzle that makes the ground perpetually slick and creates sneaky, deceptively deep puddles. My apartment is a good 20-minute walk from the interview location, and while I usually love a good stroll, the weather was making me second-guess my decision not to cab it. But I was on a tight budget, and hey, a little rain never hurt anyone, right? Famous last words. I set off with about 45 minutes to spare, feeling confident, a little nervous, but mostly just ready. The new shoes felt great, clicking purposefully on the pavement. I dodged a few smaller puddles, feeling nimble and agile. I was practically a ninja, albeit a ninja in a suit. Then I saw it. The puddle. It wasn't massive, not like a small lake or anything. It was more of an elongated, murky expanse, stretching across a good portion of the sidewalk. To the casual observer, it probably looked like a typical shallow post-rain accumulation. To me, in my ambitious, overconfident state, it looked like a challenge, a minor inconvenience that I could easily overcome with a single, elegant leap. Now, let me paint a clearer picture of my thought process, because in hindsight, it's truly baffling. My options were walk around it. This would mean stepping onto the muddy, grassy verge, potentially scuffing my pristine new shoes and getting mud on my suit pants. Unacceptable. Just walk through it. Also unacceptable. My shoes were leather, and while they might be fine with a splash, a full-on wade would ruin them. Plus, wet socks? On interview day? Absolutely not. The jump. The jump. My brain, in its infinite wisdom, decided this was the most efficient, most stylish, and frankly, most heroic option. I envisioned myself gracefully soaring over the watery abyss, landing lightly on the other side, completely untouched, a testament to my preparedness and athleticism. My new shoes, the very symbol of my ambition, would remain unsullied, my suit unblemished, my ego fully inflated. So I took a few steps back, measuring my approach. I even did a little mental calculation of the required jump distance. I'm not exactly an Olympic long jumper, but I'm reasonably athletic. I figured a good, solid push-off would clear it. I took a deep breath. A car splashed by on the road, adding a little extra water to the already glistening pavement. I ignored it. Focus, I told myself. This is just a small hurdle. I launched myself. And this is where TIFU really kicks in, folks. The moment my foot left the ground, I knew I had made a grave error. My brain, which had so confidently calculated the jump, had apparently forgotten one crucial detail. Dress shoes have zero grip on wet surfaces. None. Zilch. Nada. It was like trying to jump on ice while wearing roller skates. My push-off was pathetic. Instead of propelling me gracefully forward, my foot slipped backward on the wet pavement, turning my intended leap into a tragic, uncoordinated shuffle. My body, no longer under proper command, lurched forward and slightly to the side. Time seemed to slow down. I remember seeing the puddle, no longer a challenge, but a gaping maw of murky despair. I remember my hands flailing uselessly in front of me, like a cartoon character losing their balance. I remember thinking, oh no, oh God, no. And then I hit it. Not with a splash, not with a gentle plop. No, dear Reddit, I hit that puddle with the force and elegance of a fully loaded cargo ship striking a small iceberg. My feet went out from under me completely, and I plummeted utterly ungracefully directly into the deepest part of the puddle. It wasn't just a puddle, it was a crater, a hidden, deceptive, ankle-breaking, dignity-destroying mini-lake that probably hadn't dried up since the last ice age. The water, which I had estimated to be maybe a few inches deep, came up to my chest. My entire lower half, from my pristine new shoes right up to my crisp white shirt, was instantly, completely, utterly submerged. The shock was immediate. The water was surprisingly cold, and it felt like 1,000 tiny needles piercing my skin. I gasped, sputtering as a mouthful of murky, probably full of unidentifiable things, puddle water went down my throat. Lovely. I scrambled, my arms flailing, and managed to push myself up, gasping for air. My suit, once a symbol of ambition, was now a sodden, clinging mess, dripping dirty water from every seam. My beautiful, expensive tie was plastered to my chest like a wet rag. My hair, meticulously styled, was plastered to my forehead. My new shoes, oh God, my new shoes. They were squelching, making a horrifying suction sound with every movement. And then I heard it. Laughter. I looked up, water still dripping from my eyelashes, and saw a woman with a dog on a leash who had clearly witnessed the entire tragic spectacle. She wasn't just chuckling, she was full-on belly laughing, clutching her side. The dog, a fluffy golden retriever, looked at me with what I can only describe as profound pity. Even the dog felt bad for me. That's how bad it was. My dignity, already teetering on the edge, performed a spectacular dive bomb. I managed to drag myself out of the watery trap, water pouring off me like I'd just emerged from a swimming pool. Every step squelched. Every movement made a sloshing sound. I looked like a drowned rat who had just lost a fight with a car wash. The interview. Oh God, the interview. I checked my watch. I had about 15 minutes left. There was no way I could go in like this. No way. My phone, thankfully, was in a waterproof pocket in my jacket, but everything else was saturated. I pulled out my phone, my hand shaking, and called the company. I mumbled something incoherent about an unforeseen incident, an unavoidable delay, trying to sound professional while water dripped onto the screen. The person on the other end, bless their heart, probably thought I was having some kind of meltdown. They graciously offered to reschedule. Reschedule. My big day. My big chance. All because of a deceptive puddle and my own hubris. I limped my way back home, leaving a trail of watery footprints. The walk back felt like an eternity. Every person I passed gave me a wide berth, some staring, some openly smirking. I tried to walk with some semblance of dignity, but it's hard to look dignified when you're squelching, dripping, and vaguely smelling of urban runoff. When I finally got back to my apartment, I stripped off my ruined clothes, leaving a miniature flood on my bathroom floor. The new shoes, once gleaming, were now dull, water-stained, and emitting a faint, unpleasant odor. I tried to salvage them, stuffing them with newspaper, but I have a feeling their business days are over. So here I am 24 hours later, still vaguely damp and significantly humbled. The interview is rescheduled for next week, and I've learned a valuable lesson. When in doubt, walk around the damn puddle, or just take a cab. And never ever, under any circumstances, trust a puddle. They are agents of chaos and destroyers of dreams, especially when you're wearing dress shoes. I'm currently binging bad reality TV and ordering comfort food. Send thoughts, prayers, and maybe some new shoes.